Welcome to Tell to Trevor. I'm your host, Trevor Shelley, and today on my podcast I have.
Patty Villafane, known by Big Boy Patty in the Florida wrestling scene.
Okay. What sparked your interest in the professional wrestling industry?
Um, well, I've always been a fan. Like, I've always loved wrestling. So, like, when I was younger, backyard wrestling, like with your cousins and everything. And when I grew up, just never really changed. It's always been my like passion. Just always loved it. From watching like indies to also watching like main product. Like, I love WWE obviously my whole life. So, yeah, I just been a lifelong fan, really.
Who who were your wrestling mentors growing up?
Like my biggest influence type, or like people I like really
Yeah.
look. Oh yeah. The first people that I really looked into. I'm younger. I'm 21, so I grew up on like Kevin Owens. Well, more importantly, like Kevin Steen. Like when he was in like ROH and the Indies and stuff. I was a YouTube wrestling watcher. Like I watched wrestling on YouTube. Sami Zayn, um, Pac or Neville. Um, I was a big Mox guy. Those were like kind of like my four that I was just super obsessed with. I like mainstays as well. But those are definitely the guys that I took after, and you can even kind of see in my work now that I definitely still homage a lot to them.
How did you get your start in the wrestling world?
I went to a wrestling school, the House of Champions in Longwood, Orlando, and
Yep.
I went there just to like kind of try it out. They do a free first day, and I stopped in, and they have like a contract that you can do for a year, and like I was definitely not financially there, but I knew I wanted to be a wrestler, so I basically thought to myself, well, I could sign up for a year and have to be contractually obligated to do this, and just signed up, and after that year, I knew that it was something I was invested in, and that what kicked off my passion for the business and wanting to pursue it.
What was your first wrestling match like?
Ooh, my first wrestling match was in Atlanta, Georgia. I wrestled in a rumble for Quattro's Casa de Lucha, and this rumble was packed. It was like a 16 or like 18-foot ring, and it was like 30 guys in there. It was all the guys that weren't like necessarily like there was a few that were booked on the show, but like most of the guys who were trying to get their foot in the door, they just like chucked us all in the rumble, and it was a madhouse. Like it was an absolute madhouse. Um, One of my buddies, Casey Rocker, he told me he's like your biggest thing to do, which it was a rib, like it was a joke. He was like stay in as long as you can. Like if you could stay in until the last guy, do it, and then just eliminate yourself at that point. You know what I mean? Um, I stayed in until like the final four. Like when I was like, dude, I'm talking about first match in the place, and they had spots at the end, and like I was probably completely in the way. But I had the time of my life. Like it was completely fun, and the trip was like 7 hours. So I drove 7 hours, and I was like, I want to at least be in this match for some minutes, you know. But it was
Yeah.
definitely a fun experience, like doing the road trip and wrestling and everything like that. I really had a great time.
What are your goals for the future in wrestling?
The main goal is getting signed with a big major promotion. Right now, I'm trying to get over to like Japan. I want to get over to Japan really bad. I want to do some work out there. Like WWE is the main focus, the main goal. I mean, I feel like WWE is where you can get the biggest spotlight on yourself in like Western media or like in the States. You know what I mean? Like where you can really make a name for yourself. I just really grew up on people like AJ Styles, like where I saw like the type of rep that you get for being one of the best in Japan. You get thought of as like the best bout for bout, and like that's kind of what I'm looking for. So definitely getting out of the states and working some big names and getting signed to a big promotion.
Yeah. Can you describe your wrestling persona or character?
Yeah, my wrestling persona is very much me. Um, I live in Claremont, If you've been to Claremont, it's really like unlike Florida. It's like it's definitely changed over time where we've grown a lot. When went over there, when I was younger, I moved over there and I was like, I lived there when I was a boy, like 4 or 5. Stayed in Orlando for a bit and moved back when I was like 12. And it's very rural. It's very country, and I got my influence for my character from my surroundings. And as well, like to pay for wrestling, I did. I was a butcher. I worked on an alligator farm. So yeah,
Okay.
which is pretty irregular, but that was like my teenage job. Um, and I got my money doing that. And when I made my character, I just made my character a reflection of me being a country boy. So the good fighting, want to drink with the boys, fighting at night.
Yeah.
Clark Kent vibe, and just try to make that resonate with the audience of like a good old boy.
Let's see what's the next question. Can you share a memorable moment from your wrestling career?
Oh yeah, 100%. About maybe a month and a half ago, I won my first singles title. I won
Okay.
my first singles title with the House of Champions, and this was like a year build up of story and effort, and like the culmination of that was a we called it the legacy match, which is like 8 men in a match, and it's like a rumble, but you can also lose by pinfall or submission and get elimination style. And so it felt like we had the whole locker room involved in like this super special moment. And we had a big packed house. I had my family there. And when I won the title, I attributed the win to my uncle who had passed away, which felt incredible for me to like give that back. And what was insane was I got to share that moment with so many people I'd never met before, and there were people that were crying and feeling very emotional for me that I never met, and it was it's one of those moments where you're like, okay, if
Mhm.
this is the last thing I get to do in wrestling, like, okay, I'm completely happy with that. But yet the blessings, they keep coming, and it's exciting. That moment to me I hold very dear.
How do you handle the mental and emotional aspects of wrestling?
Oof, that's a good dude. That's a good one. Wrestling is super draining because like you are constantly feeling like your peers or even yourself, if you're that type of person, that you're at competition with other people, and there's a lot of big egos in wrestling and a lot of like I would say bitterness. um, to me, I got into professional wrestling because it was escapism. Like it's always been my favorite thing to watch, favorite thing to do in the backyard, and so for me, my goal has never been the dude next to me. It's always been like the Cena's, The Rock, Roman,
Yeah.
like trying to elevate to get to those positions and making it to the top of your own industry. So I'm just fulfilled with getting the ability to get in the ring. So that's what makes me happy. I feel like if you find something that's genuinely your passion, and you can find a way to focus on that, I feel like that's a very good way to be happy. Like I'm very fulfilled with what I do.
All right, guys, we are going to start this segment called Trev Shock.
Ooh, oh yeah, man.
Okay.
Oh, it's
The
time.
record was 35 seconds that they got to after finishing their last question. All right. Favorite pre-show snack.
Ooh, dang. Oh, that's a good one. Beef jerky.
Favorite pre-show jam.
I've been listening to Nino Paid. He has some songs like was it? It's like Money Problems. That song goes crazy. He has one with Blackboy Max that I was listening to, and then I also listen to, obviously you gotta listen to Meek Mill sometimes. So I'll put on some Meek Millie, some Dreams and Nightmares. Around that area, rap music will pump me up, get me excited.
Favorite favorite sports team.
Favorite sports team. Okay, definitely. I played basketball in high school, so I say Orlando Magic basketball. I'm a basketball guy.
Favorite wrestler growing up.
John Cena. John Cena, man.
Favorite color.
Red.
Favorite type of music.
Country music.
So you did not beat it. You were over by 5 seconds.
Ah, I almost had him,
Okay.
Trevor. I almost had him, Trevor.
Yeah. Um. What are the biggest challenges of being a professional wrestler outside of the ring?
Outside of the ring, um, I would definitely say, um, a lot of the stuff in the ring makes problems out of the ring, so I feel like it's almost one and one. But I know that's not the question. But like the I really wanted to get a lot of reps so that way I can get better at the wrestling. The thing is, once you start doing more matches, start wrestling all the time,
Yeah.
it starts like it's your goal to be doing the wrestling, but then it does take a physical toll. Like it genuinely does. Like you can definitely feel it in your body, like the toll, the strain, and I would say the biggest challenge is like uh the when you're at your house is like I don't know, trying to get back to feeling okay, so that way you can enjoy your time at the house and just be with the people and not thinking about your back or your hip or something.
What's next? How do you feel about the business side of wrestling and the role of promotions and shaping the storyline?
Oh, and shit. I'm big on storylines. I feel like a lot of promotions like where I'm at because I am very much working the Florida scene mainly. Um, I don't get that many like full fledged out storylines or time. It's usually just bell to bell cold matches where a lot of the times it can be cool because if you're uh familiar with the scene, you'll definitely see matchups that you're like, oh, I would really enjoy what they'll do in the ring. You just don't really get a lot of times the opportunity to get the fans invested without wrestling. Like I don't know how many times like I see promos done on a show, like not talking about the social media, but in ring promos or even segments of like uh two guys having a very heated rivalry that doesn't have the bell ring.
Yeah.
So I
If you
would
could, oh, go
uh,
ahead.
no, I would say that like that's a good question that you're saying that because like dude that's what makes wrestling. Like I don't think anybody got into wrestling just for the matches. You know what I mean? You got into it
Yeah.
because you got invested in the characters.
If you could wrestle any wrestler from the past, who would it be and why?
Oh, okay. If I could wrestle anyone from the past, it would definitely be Terry Funk. I would love to wrestle Terry Funk, man. That's my like one of my guys. Terry Funk's character is such a big influence on me, and he, in my opinion, is one of the best heels, and everyone knows it. Like I heard this quote. I think it's like an honest man thinks that Terry Funk the best. You know what I mean? Terry Funk is the best, man, and I would love to see me being the good young uprise and him being the experienced just complete jerk. I feel like that would be an awesome time, and I that would be my dream match for sure.
If you could wrestle any legendary wrestler from the past, who would it be? Oh, wait, no, you already answered that. If you could attend a wrestling session with any wrestler, who would you pick?
Oh, okay. Um, I think I would love to work with Raven. I've watched a lot of Raven seminars and like his Secret to the Ring videos, and like he has an incredible mind and probably my personal favorite mind for the business. Like from an aspect of just explaining it, like not from just seeing their work and loving it, but actually from being a teacher of the business.
If you could have a wrestling legend as your mentor, who would you choose?
Um, Samoa Joe, Samoa Joe for sure. Like to be there all the time, critiquing matches and like being able to go back and asking him what he thought. Samoa Joe, his matches are incredible.
All right, so I have a 2K universe called the Shock Universe. So we have a men's world title, tag team, mid card, cruiserweight, or if you want to introduce a new title, you can.
Okay. All right, I definitely, dude. Me and my buddy, Kid Kuda is very good. Like, he's really good wrestler. Like, he's on the rise. Like, definitely keep a lookout for that guy. Um, the title that we have is we have like the hardcore title, but then as well, I think it was like the BMF title, the bad motherfucker title. Wait, my bad. Am I allowed to say that on
Yeah,
here? My apologies. But yeah, that title right there is sick. Like from UFC, like when you have like Jorge and I think it was Nate for that title. Yeah, if you could add the BMF title to the universe mode, it will do wonders.
there we go. That is added to the universe.
Oh, let's go.
What is your opinion on the wrestling crossover events with other sports and entertainment industries
Like between like company to company in wrestling, or like wrestling and like outside of wrestling type company.
outside of wrestling?
Outside of, I think that that's like the best thing that you can do in wrestling, because like more eyes on the product is what is the best for professional wrestling as a
Yeah,
whole. And like even if you watching like early WrestleManias, they had like NFL players in there. Like that's how it's been since day one. And I think like moving forward, like I feel like they should capitalize it on even more. Like I think there should be more social media influencers in WWE. Like that's where like it's headed. Like they're like social media people are now like the celebrities.
yeah.
So I definitely believe that WWE as a brand should start looking more onto the social media, and probably even stop looking towards like the movies and stuff, because most kids that are consuming their product don't really know these actors. They know more YouTubers and TikTok.
What advice would you give to an aspiring wrestler?
This is a funny rib that I heard from like a vet. That like don't do it. Like if like don't like you don't have to.
Yeah,
Um, I genuinely think that if you can move past that, because it's just like it's so much, man. It's very life changing, and if it's not something that you want to do with your life, it's very consuming, and
yeah.
it's just not very much something that I feel like is easy to do just as a fun side thing. Like this is a very much consuming thing because of the damage it does. Um, if you can look past all that and you still say, "Heck, I want to be a wrestler," I would say the biggest thing is to find a good training school. Find a training school that you can be happy at and really enjoy it. Um, as well, I would say to focus on the character aspects of the wrestling and figure out how to get yourself seen. You know, because you can go out there and wrestle, and if it doesn't get you over or it doesn't get you anywhere, then you know what are you doing? You know, this business is about putting the spotlight on yourself. You know, every match can be special on the card if you make it that way. You know, you have everything and a platform to do it. So I would say figure out what makes you unique and explore and expand that.
Can you talk about a significant rivalry you had and how it helped you grow as a wrestler?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Me and my coach, Keikoa, his gimmick is Keikoa the Hawaiian Warrior, and he's wrestled in the Maryland scene as well, in the Florida scene, and he's been in the business for years. Like this man has probably forgotten more things than I know. Like, very great technical wrestler, very great crowd worker, and like knowing where he's at, and like being able to get the crowd enjoying the matches and just being on their feet. We worked with each other for like almost a whole year. Not necessarily wrestling each other every single month, but with between segments, matches, online promos, and like the way that that helped me was getting to like stand back and watch him do the things that I just didn't even know were needed. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like just seeing those moments of him working with the crowd, or even in when he's working with me, just sitting there and watching him go. It would just
Yeah.
teach you, like there's certain things that can only be taught in a match or in a promo. And yeah, that was definitely the biggest rivalry that I had had. That was just awesome.
What was it like working with a particular wrestler that you really clicked with in the ring?
Um, okay, I definitely would say Daniel Starling is someone that I went to his house to tape study with. He's somebody that I really like to learn from and like ask his opinions and stuff. Super great guy. Like literally, if you go
Yeah.
to him asking for information, he's just always ready to give that. Him and all his whole group, the marquee, like Tyler Uriah is another one that I go to for information. Tyler was the manager for that match with me and Star, and they're so great. Like my girlfriend was there in the crowd, and so Tyler's like working heel against my girlfriend. Um, Starling is just working the heel on the fly, and we didn't really like a lot of people want to say in wrestling they'll call point A, and we know exactly what we're doing point A through Z, and like
Yeah.
that's out there. It's a rehearsed dance. I definitely can appreciate that style, and I enjoy all styles of wrestling. I really like when we can go out there and say a few things that we're gonna do and just have fun out there, and that's what me and Starling did, and I learned tons in that match. We were on we were flipping the coin with like him being evil, me being good, and it just was easy because the fans can get behind that, and we didn't have to really do anything. And
Yeah.
I would say that that match was one of the matches that was like a light bulb moment for me of working that old school style, Dusty Flair type style.
What was your training process like, and what was the hardest part about it?
The hardest part of the training for me was I would definitely say that wrestling is the most different sport of all time. Like learning through the roles and the footwork. I would say that that was something that I had to get used to. I come from playing basketball. Like growing up, I did boxing and like football for a little bit, and so I've done countless footwork drills. But it's just very different when you're in a 18 or 20-foot space and you have to stop on a dime. You have to be in the perfect positioning. So I think learning my spatial awareness in the ring is something that definitely was very difficult. And it's something that even now, is times I'll look and I'll be like, okay, this could have been tighter, this could have been better. Like especially being
Yeah.
a perfectionist. But that's definitely something I would say the timing of it.
What hobbies bring you joy outside of the ring?
Um, I would say that I like movies. I'm a big movie guy. I like the DC and like Marvel cinematic universes and stuff. You can definitely see that on my TikTok feed. If I start scrolling, you'll start seeing a bunch of stuff about like superhero movies. I've always been into that. I was a big comic book guy when I was a kid, and like still to this day, I'll stop in at comic book stores and like look through the covers and like maybe pick through some of the new Nightwing releases or like um, I think I've mainly been getting into the Nightwing stuff lately. Uh, but like that's another one of my hobbies. Big is that as well. I've started playing recently Dungeons and Dragons, and that was a blast. And I'm trying to spend my time doing that. With my boys, we started up a campaign, which is so funny because we made a parody of the Von Erichs, and our we two of us are playing like gimmick brothers in the Dungeons and Dragons, and we're literally like we called us the Von Thunderwood, so it's like his name is like something Von Thunderwood, my name is Von Thunderwood, just a complete pecker joke, you know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
hilarious to the boys. So we just been running that. I would definitely say things like that. I'm a little nerdy when it comes to my pastimes, for sure.
Let's see. What is your favorite gear that you have ever got made?
Recently, playing back on what I was talking about with Terry Funk being a big influence. Terry Funk wore a very cool poncho, and I had a poncho made specifically for my character recently that is just very fun. It has the big star logo on it with tassels and the whole 9 yards. And the school that I go to had the one of the owners there. Renee, she's like the Hawk mom, and we're all just very close to her. And she actually made that for me as a gift, so it's just very like special. Like it was for my championship match, so it just like has that lore behind it, where I'm like, okay, that this is my favorite gear I've ever had.
And then where can they find you out on social media?
On social media, it's Big Boy Patty, across the board on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I'm lucky I got that handle. So like, if you ever want to find your boy, you can go check me out pretty much anywhere.
And then thank you, Patrick, for being on the Tell to Trevor podcast.
Yes, sir. I
And
appreciate you, brother.
guys, this goes for wrestlers and fans. We do have two different contests going on for the fans and wrestlers. We have 5 designs. It is on the new website that is up and running. Um, will be in the bios soon. And 5 designs, I pick one winner. The reason is two different ones, so then the wrestlers can be like, "Oh, it's fair that you guys get picked by who, like by me." But it's also going to be randomized on a list of everybody that enters. And then there's one for fans, same thing. And then thank you to our sponsor, the Wrestling Evolution.
Heck yeah. Nah, that's awesome, man. That's really cool. I like that.
All right, see you guys on the next one.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Trevor.
No problem.